Hello, beautiful people. It's Wednesday, so it's Wednesday, TV. Hope you guys are doing great. I'm doing amazing. It's been a week. Yeah, since I made my last video, I want to appreciate you guys for watching it, for the nice comments, for the nice feedbacks. Yes, and we for those who have been sharing, for those who have been learning from it, I really appreciate it, and I'm honored to be helping you guys out. Yes, so today I'm joined with this amazing soul. She's pretty though.
My
Yeah.
name is Lynn Ade, and I am grateful for you, and thank you for inviting me to your channel once again.
Yeah, this is the second time here, man. Y'all should watch our previous video. Yeah, yeah, technically that's most of it. Today we're going to talk about attachment styles. Yeah. Yeah, so attachment styles. How would you describe, or like what's your understanding of attachment styles?
Okay, so I know a little bit about the topic, and for my little understanding, I feel like an attachment style is how you relate to other people in your life, the patterns that maybe describe how your relationships are, and with your friends, could be romantic relationships. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I think about them. How about you?
That's sort of true. For me, I would say like attachment styles. It usually comes from the attachment theory. And under the attachment theory, it basically describes how we relate with other people in our lives, how we psychologically, emotionally, cognitively relate with other people in our lives, how we attach ourselves to them, like relationship wise. We'd say like romantic relationships, platonic relationships, like family relationships. You see how we attach ourselves to other people. Yeah, and like technically we have four types of
There's four main ones.
four types of attachment. We have the secure attachment. In that one, yani, we have the let me
That's the
just
goal.
that's the goal for everyone. Like once you're at the secure attachment, you're really comfortable with yourself. You're just you're no longer stressed, you're no longer anxious about the people that stay, the people that go, the people how they relate to you, how you open up and talk about stuff with them. You're usually just so secure with them, you don't even like avoid talking to them.
You feel solid within yourself.
Yeah,
Kabisa, kabisa.
absolutely. So like for example, like part like I would say characteristics of someone who has secure attachments. Like they're usually able to regulate their emotions and feelings in a relationship. You see, they're usually able to like, yani, there's them, or rather, we would list the secure attachment last, so that y'all can understand what we mean to say when we say that the secure attachment is the goal. Yeah, so we would go to the next one, which is the anxious attachment or the preoccupied attachment. So under the anxious attachment, we would say people who are anxiously attached tend to worry more about their relationships. They are said to experience an emotional hunger and desperate to have a fantasy type of love, a fantasy type of like friendship or relationship with people. And like secure attached people with anxious attachment tend to desperately form a fantasy type of bond. You see, even when this might not be possible, even when it's not reciprocated, they tend to look for it. They tend to look for people who will rescue them, people who will complete them, people who will just feel your like that space, your space yenye iko hapo hivyo yenye like una feel like some emptiness in you. You like if you have anxious attachment, you look for people who will fill in that. And unfortunately, the desperation sometimes can push people they want closeness with, because when they are afraid of losing this partner or this friend, this like this person in their life, they tend to become clingy, possessive,
Yeah.
paranoid,
So you find yourself
or a
doing the
need for
most.
constant attention. Yeah.
And you'll end up like prioritizing the other person's needs.
Needs,
So it's
yeah.
like you neglect yourself because it's like you want to keep this other person in your life. So you'll do anything just to keep them. And that
Yeah.
can be like you being desperate, can count as you being desperate.
And in actual sense, I once told my therapist that I feel like maybe I'm the anxious attachment type of person, and I felt like that's a mess up, that's a fuck up. And he asked me like, why do you feel
Yeah.
like that when that's how you've learned to love, that's how you've learned to be. You see, that's how you've learned to be with people. So you have to unlearn it, because the attachment styles that aren't healthy, the avoidant, the anxious, the
Yeah.
disorganized, those are trauma responses.
Yeah.
Once you get to the secure attachment is where you're like fully there. You're like you're healed, man. You're there. That's the goal. That's the goal for everyone, man. Yeah. So
and it's possible to get there. No, it's not that
Absolutely.
like if you have let's say an anxious attachment style right now, you can't move to like be in a position to be in a secure attachment. You know, it's possible to move up the scale, I guess. So yeah.
This is really nice. She's one of my best friends, actually. Man.
And oh wait, actually no, cut.
Uko sawa.
Cut hapo. So in a friendship situation, like how would an anxious attachment manifest? So maybe you know you have this friend of yours, maybe you've been friends for a while, and then let's say maybe you start drifting, you know,
Or maybe they're dealing with something and then they
Yeah.
like back away.
they're a bit distant. You might find yourself like
reaching out more.
just like maybe
Being-
doing the most
You're just over, like, I would not say overdoing it, but you're just there, like.
constantly there.
And you know, it's not only in relationships where friends need constant attention, like they create that environment where they feel like they need constant attention. It happens also in friendships where you're just like, sasa upaje nini baby na ilikuwa inafanyika, oh
Yeah.
nini, you see, like. Yeah, so like for someone who has anxious attachment, they usually have issues with their self-worth and self-esteem. They usually lack a strong sense of self-esteem, in that when they feel like someone is pulling away, they start going under, they start feeling less worthy, they start feeling terrible about themselves, and then they go into these dark places, you see. They have a strong desire for relationships and intimacy, and they have a hard time being alone. You rarely find someone with anxious attachment alone. They jump onto the next relationship, the next friendship, the next one, because they don't know how to deal with issues on their own. They don't know how to deal with their emotions on their own. Yeah, so the next one would be, they have strong fear of rejection, criticism, and abandonment. You see, they have strong fear of rejection, criticism, and abandonment. And yet the moment they sense like you're going to criticize them, or they're going to leave them, or you're going to reject them, they start feeling bad about themselves. You see, they start getting anxious, and they start try to like prove themselves, try to make you realize that, guy, if you don't see my worth, I don't know what you're seeing.
Yeah.
You see.
So you'll find them doing like a lot more just so you can see their worth, and so they can avoid being abandoned or rejected.
Yeah, true. And they also like overanalyze and worry about friendships and relationships. Like she said, when you you feel like your friend is pulling away, or your partner is pulling away, maybe they're dealing with something, but who are you? You're already creating scenarios in your head. You're already like overanalyzing it. You're overanalyzing their response, overanalyzing their reaction to it. You get? Yeah. So on to the next one. It's the avoidant. attachment. So the avoidant attachment, it tends to happen with people who are emotionally distant with their friends and their partners and the people in their lives, technically. So avoidant attachers take pride in their independence and can see attachment as weakness. You feel like if you get attached to someone,
someone will see those things
Yeah,
you probably hide from them,
yeah,
or like that vulnerability just scares you.
yeah.
And at least for me, I relate to this. But the thing is, like, I crave intimacy. Like, I want that emotional closeness, physical closeness, either with my friends or like just anyone that I want to develop a relationship with. But the thing is, at the same time, I'm pushing people away, you know. And I like to process emotions on my own, and I don't like to share vulnerabilities with anyone else, with
And
like a lot of people.
Yeah, like, and you find yourself like maybe when you need help the most is when you pull away from people. They're not as attentive as their partners because they worry that, like, you tend to worry that maybe you'll become too codependent, you see, and this like takes away their notion of the fact that I'm independent emotionally, I can handle this
I
on
can
my own.
handle myself, like, don't need people, you know.
I don't need nobody.
That is something I am working on. Because it's okay to feel things, it's okay to need people, you know. Being vulnerable is not, you know, being weak. And
Yeah, it's totally fine to be like vulnerable and everything, and it's totally fine to be comfortable with sharing how you feel, and it's totally fine to feel safe in other people's space. You see, for someone who's avoidant, or avoidant attachment can also be called dismissive. They are dismissive in their behaviors. They're usually like, can't apologize for that. I can't deal with that. That is not my problem. That is, you see, like, they usually do not care about how they will affect other people emotionally. You see, they minimize emotional expressions. I know someone.
and I feel like that happens because at least for my reasoning, I'm usually like, you know, if I'm not vulnerable with other people, if I don't emotionally express myself, I guess that's one less chance of someone to get close to me and hurt me. So it's a way of make myself like feel safer. So I feel like it's the safe option, while in reality I'm just, you know, closing myself up to like opportunities to like form deep connections with people, you know, genuine friendships, relationships, romantic relationships, anything.
They have high self-esteem. Like, avoidant attachment is the complete opposite of anxious attachment.
Yeah.
While people feel like they are high up there, they're untouchable, people struggle with self-esteem. But we're working on it, people.
Yeah.
Yes, so like they have also a tendency to pull away as soon as someone gets close. Someone gets to you, to the core, to the
So as soon as someone starts figuring you out, kidogo,
they start
you're just
understanding
like,
you and actually breaking
sorry,
you down.
goodbye. Like, I can't do this. You're getting too close to me.
Not today.
I gotta run.
You see, yeah, it's hard to be an avoidant person, but y'all, please, intimacy, affection, that's some real stuff,
It's
man.
at the core of like human relationships.
That's the key,
we are meant
man.
to feel things.
Man, yeah. You can't really like run away from everything.
You really cannot. You cannot avoid those.
Yeah, like technically people who are avoidant, they feel like they're self-sufficient and independent, like we had said up with Gianni. They pride themselves on the fact that I can do this on my own. I don't need nobody.
And an addition to your life would be a threat to you, like losing that sort of independence. So
So you
just push people away.
yeah.